Hello everyone, my name is Dinda Fitriani. I'm the International Relation Communication student of LSPR Communication and Business Institute Jakarta, and I'm one of the students under the supervision of Mr. Charles Bonar Sirait as my mentor and my lecturer. In this occasion, I would like to explain to you about the climate change issue that is very important for the sustainable world. I would like to present sustainable issues include climate change in Indonesia as a part of important sustainable world issues. This is a simple explanation of climate change. Based on an article in the New York Times, the average temperature on the surface of the planet has already increased 1.7 degrees Fahrenheit since 1880, which may not seem like much, but think about this way. The heat from human emissions is roughly equal to 400,000 Hiroshima atomic bombs exploding across the planet every single day. Future generations are in big trouble, but for now, it will continue to get warmer and the storms will grow more intense, with longer periods of droughts in between, but longer term if emissions continue to rise unchecked. The climate disaster will be so severe they will destabilize entire nations, send millions of refugees across borders, cause widespread extinction of the most species on Earth, and melt the polar ice caps, leaving most of the world's coastal cities several feet underwater. All this could take centuries, but something like the sudden collapse of agriculture would trigger immediate chaos in society. The base case is that we get together and start to reduce emission rates quickly. While land is less sensitive than we now believe to greenhouse gas emissions, plants and animals are rapidly adapting, and major technological breakthrough help societies to reduce emissions and adapt to climate change. But they are all different from what we see, so the only thing that we control is that emissions are limited with all available instruments and best behaviors. The central part during construction of this metropolis is now abandoned underwater. The worst case is that food production is collapsing, which is causing spiraling costs, and that our capitalistic utopia is breaking down starved trail birds as our planet quickly grows of violence, kind of like a zombie apocalypse, but with extreme hunger spreading chaos instead. So yeah, still just like a zombie apocalypse. This will be compounded by the melting of the Antarctic ice sheet, resulting in rapidly rising waters that would force us to leave many of our most important towns, as well as much of the social technological investment that had been made within them. To make matters worse, many of the pollution occurred during construction of these now-defunct underwater metropolises. The real question is, how quickly if the emissions continue to grow? We look at the total increase between 80 until 160 feet if the all ice at the poles melt and the ocean rises. Scientists have only Earth's history that is based on predictions, which suggests that the rate has sometimes reached 1 foot a decade. So we must adapt sooner or later, but likely much sooner rather than later, to a changed coastline, because computer forecasts give us only a range of possibilities for the future. The most significant evidence is the past climate change conditions have been studied which show clearly that the Earth is warming, the ice melts, and the oceans are increasing each time the amount of carbon dioxide in the air rise. Here we should not forget that we are unknown territory. Humans are pumping carbon dioxide into the air much faster than ever before. Scientists have been publishing proof that warming often causes drought and heat waves, stronger rainstorms, and more extreme coastal overflows. But while the internet has brought us all more conscious of weather catastrophes in faraway countries, it is difficult to prove that they are all made worse by the climate change, although they are likely. Canada and Russia both have vast frozen lands that could benefit economically from a warmer climate. As a result, Putin and the Russians have been really hesitant to make ambitious climate commitments. But this is expected to change as these countries realize that they will swarmed by millions of refugees from less fortunate countries. Libertarians and other political conservatives oppose the proposed policies to combat climate change and have chosen the opposite, them undermining the science. This effort has been funded by the oil and coal industries, which prioritize profit over all else. Our change of big technological breakthroughs are improving as more research are dedicated to solving the problem. But according to several in-depth, the reports we should be spending about 3 times as much money on this effort as we currently are. You can reduce your carbon footprint by plugging leaks in your home insulation, installing a smart thermostat, taking a public transportation, flying less, purchasing an electric car, and installing solar panels on your roof. One major one is adding less meat. But what is really needed is for you to speak up and exercise your right as a citizen, because strong independent citizens are in short supply. Collective action through state and national policies is how we will make the most impact. We're a little late in the game, given that we've been ignoring scientists' warnings to limit emissions since 1880. But we've finally reached a point where nearly every country in the world agrees this is a huge problem and appears ready to commit taking at least some kind of action. Leading corporations will continue to make bold pledges to do their part. Low emission technologies will improve, and many states and cities will go far beyond any initial government goals. The world's largest economy, the United States, is finally starting to move aggressively, and China, the world's largest emitter, is beginning to recognize that it needs to do the same. As many its megacities will be underwater if sea levels rise too high, but it is up to us, ordinary citizens, to continue demanding that our political leaders address climate change, the most difficult problems that humanity has ever faced. As we bring our climate change issues in Indonesia as part of important sustainable world issues, I would like to thank you for your attention and hope that this study session gives all of you clear understanding about climate change issues in my country. If you need further and detailed information regarding the issues, kindly text in the comment column below this video. Have a great sustainable world. Thank you!